I pray for every one of them. I decided whether I want to gamble, steal, or cab. Gamble, steal, or cab. Let's cab. Let's cab for a while. We're gonna go cabbing for a while. I need to probably find me some music. This sounds dull. It sounds dull, they say. But now, unfortunately, I can't play real music in here. But we can find a playlist. I guess I'll just stick with low. That's study. We're not really studying. Japanese lo-fi. Let's play that. It seems nice. Let's see who the channel is. Lo-Fi Geek is the same person. I've always been a fan of Japanese culture. Voltron came from Japan. Transformers came from Japan.
If a man really hated ads, here's what he would do. Day one, he would install Pi on his computer without spending a dime because it's 100% free. Day two, he realizes how clean and clutter-free his browser
Maybe I got it right.
has been since he got Pi. He doesn't have to deal with annoying cookie pop-ups or targeted ads.
Oh, I see the green.
He can finally binge YouTube and Twitch
Bom, bom, bom,
because
bom,
Pi
bom.
works on every website you visit on Chrome. Day 4, he discovers that when he does see ads, he can get paid to see them. Day 5, his life has improved 1,000 times because of the peace he gets from experiencing an ad-free internet. He decides he never wants to go back to life without Pi and tells all his friends and family.
He got in the bed smelling like sex.
Oh, Lordy. You got the bed smelling like sex.
Kids.
I like a lot of that Japanese animation.
Wow. Damn.
I've never really had the desire to really fully travel. But if I were to visit any of the countries, it would be some of the European ones. Or maybe even Japan. Not today, Satan. Not today, Satan. You go away. You know, one thing I noticed when I was doing that research on spiritual warfare praying, did you notice that one of the people cohorted? I don't know if you paid attention or not when I was playing it. One of the people cohorted with Beelzebub. And God went after and punished him. Oh, I passed the turn. Now I gotta get turned around. Actually cohorted with Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies. And God punished him. It was a king. I'm gonna go back and listen to my own prayer because I did that with research. Found that out with research, and now my brain's... I didn't write none of it down, so... I'm that way. I forget names and stuff. So I'll go back and listen to it so I can get the name, because I want to memorize that. I'll actually go look at the part of the Bible where it's actually at. Focus in on that part. I like learning new stuff. And I don't like just going by what the preacher tells me. what the preacher tells me. You can't always pay attention to the preacher. Sometimes the preacher has his own intentions in mind. Like when they're always focusing, I'm going to tell you, it's a red flag to me. You know, like when you get up there and you listen to the ones that are always going on about you got to forgive the enemies and all that stuff. Now, yes, there's a ton of extent you need all that. But when I'm listening to that, I'm saying, this guy here, he likes abusing people and getting by with it. And now he's brainwashing his flock to just roll over and take it. You know, there's plenty of scripture in there that you can deal with wicked people and still be godly. They're abusing Jesus' sermons. That's what I'm searching for, y'all. And that's my intent of my prayers. Now, as you know, I always focus in. Give them a chance to repent. Because on a God scale, that's what you have to do. He's not going to just destroy somebody just for the sake of destroying them. You ain't going to get your own mafia guy. You're not going to get your mafia guy with God. You're going to be, oh, God, I got a problem here. You need to take care of it. And God ain't going to say, sure. He ain't going to do that. But now he will protect you. And you got the right to, some people try to shame you into praying about that. And you got the right to ask God to protect you from that. And you don't just have to overlook it and turn your cheek. That's abuse. That's abuse is what that is. And there are some preachers, like I'm going to tell y'all something. Rodney Howard Brown, for instance, I'm going to give y'all, he literally pleaded to me one day in Texas that I needed to forgive this individual that had done something to me in the past, a long time ago. And I was telling him, I don't know if I can. Well, he went on later on that night and he preached about it even more to his audience. I want to tell you, Rodney has your best interest at heart. He's not just telling you because he's wanting you to get the best of what God can give you. That's something I've learned about Rodney. He's giving you some things that if you apply them, you could have the best life possible here on earth and heaven. If you apply all the things he tells you. Like doing what God tells you to do. Exactly what God tells you to do. But now you don't just have to roll over and take abuse. I don't even ever hear him preaching that. Like he was telling the students one time, he said, let them move on down the road and let somebody else love them. Just let them go on down the road.
What is happening?
So they don't hurt themselves. Because you see, you can have blowback, and I'm sure I bring a lot of blowback on me. Because sometimes I get out of the spirit and into the worldly, and that is what I realized last year. That was the big awakening. Because I always view it from a natural, what's going on at the moment. And I'm going to tell you, I started noticing some things that were like repeatances. Like some of the same old attacks, just different people. And I thought, God, this is spiritual. This is like the same entity, just different individuals. And then he started opening my eyes to spiritual warfare and all this other stuff. And I'm going to take the knowledge that he's opened up to me and share it with others. Because you do not have to be a victim of abuse. Now, you have to always leave in there that you have to leave a room in there that you have to let God want to save them, because that's his goal. That's his will. God's will is for none to perish, but some will perish. Some will perish. Even though it's not his will, a whole lot has already perished. Like the guy he was talking about that was begging him for a drop of water. He talked about Abraham, begging Abraham a drop of water. That guy still wants water. He's wanting water right now while we're speaking, if he's real. And I tend to believe that God is real. I see my cable, it's got a kink in it. I may have to stop and fix it. I probably tripped over it. It's a big old long USB cable. Yeah, USB. The HMDI one just plugs into the HMDI thing, and it ain't that big. But now the USB that gets it over here to the laptop's all around the room. You don't have to take people's abuse. And when I'm telling you, when I hear preachers or Christians over harping that stuff, these are people, like I start visualing a wolf with sheep on. Because that Christian's trying to take advantage of you. That Christian's got harm planned for you, and they want you to turn a blind eye to it. And they're going to browbeat you about if you don't forgive them, you're not Christ-like. That's what's going on here. They don't really have a genuine cure for your soul. I can always tell people who genuinely care for souls and ones who don't. The ones who don't care about your soul won't tell you the truth. The ones who care about your soul, they'll tell you the truth. And I'm telling you the truth right now. They don't care. They don't care who they abuse, who they use, who they take advantage of. I probably should deal with a old lady, old hag. Of course, now, from what I can tell, she's got some pretty good references. And I'm talking about the one at school. This woman, my daddy had some dirt on her, and one teacher told my sister that she destroyed a lot of kids' lives, took them out of their homes because their parents were poor and couldn't fight them. God, Jesus himself addressed harm to children. So that bitch has probably got it coming. She's one of the longest hold-ons I've had throughout my years. Indeed, I can still remember to this day, 30 years later. Indeed, it's one of the things You Thought I Hate Jesus was written about. Because she accused me of being satanic. I kid you not. She accused me of being satanic. She's one of the instigators of the song, You Thought I Hate Jesus. Written from that point of view when I was in school. And I was putting up with her. Tormenting me all the time. On my bands I listened to. On my t-shirts. I can play you. I'm going to play it as soon as I find this person. I'm going to have to find it soon because it's this picture. I got to fix this for. If not, we're going to lose it. Lord, I can't never find these. Especially in these old busy areas where you can't even drive. I see it up here. Let's see if we see it. That's a light, but I don't know if it's it. Now, that's another thing. Them lights are tricky. I'm getting better at it, though. I will tell you, I'm getting better. Yeah, it finally went out. I don't know if I'll be able to save my game or not. Be right back. I may lose that game. If I do, so what? We'll restart. Should have thought to check that before Gotta fix the audio again. I should have thought to check it before I got started. Sometimes I do.
Is there a stoplight I'm not seeing?
Okay, I think I got the sound now. Yes. I'm going to try to remember to check that next time before I get started. That's aggravating. I've had that happen before in the past. Basically, with spiritualism and God and Christianity, oh God,
Out of your bloody mind?
just hit the thing by mistake. I couldn't tell what it was. I was trying to watch that diet too.
Thank you so much.
See, I lost money there. You have to sort of be like you do with the gambling. Know when to hold on. Know what to pray for. Because those times, Jesus done all that stuff. If you really think about it, sometimes he walked away. Sometimes he confronted. Sometimes he got out the wheel. You got to be like that. You got to know when. And you got to, it's hard to do. Because we can't judge people. We don't know what their hearts are. God does. So that's why praying's probably the best method. But I wasn't there to just let people walk all over you just because some pastor tells you just got to overlook it. I would take it to God first. He'll decide. That's the way I look at it. He'll decide. If he wants to deal with that person, I seen it happen one time. And back then, believe it or not, I wasn't even in the real, I was like in the, hey God, are you real mode? And I kid you not, I had this bully. This guy, he bullied me from the day I met him to the last day he was alive that I seen him. And I told him one day, I shook my cane at him. He said, come on, come on. And I said, no, I ain't going to touch you. I ain't going to touch you. Of course, you can get arrested for that, by the way. This was 1989, so, or 90. It's 90 or 91. Well, it was 91. 89 was one of the years I did have to deal with him. But it was 91. Was it 90? Boy, it's been so many years, I'm in off now. But you don't want to shake a cane at anybody. You don't even want to lift a cane at anybody. Don't. I'm telling you. But, and I said, nah, I can't touch you. Because if I touch you, that woman will have me. That's the woman I was just talking about. And you know what? And I said, but I'm going to let God deal with you. He said, oh, so you're going to let God deal with me, eh? Did you hear that, bus? This guy that rode the short bus, because I had that energy, and I did have to ride for a while, because I was in a wheelchair. The guy that rode the short bus, he really is on the short bus now. He's telling me that God's gonna get me. Oh, God's gonna strike me with lightning. And I said, I didn't say that. I said, he's going to deal with you. And then I got off the bus and said, bye, bus driver. She didn't like him either. I said, this is probably going to be the last time I see you, because I'm not riding the bus as long as he's on it. I'll never be back on this bus again. I'm going to call my mama and I'll wait. I'll wait even if she has to come get me late, and I'll set an hour over there at the parking lot. just to wait for her to come pick me up. Sometimes she'd have to work later. That's what I did, by the way, till he got killed. He got killed, y'all. 3 weeks after he mauled me like that, he was hit head on. You have heard the tale, hit by a Mack truck. This guy, he was on a 4-wheeler. He was one on the ATV things. It was going one way. The truck was going another. They head-on collision, and he died in the impact. 3 weeks after he done that. And I'm pretty sure it was 3. Could have been a 4, but I'm pretty sure it was 3. Because I got back on the bus. I got back on the bus after he was dead. I wasn't never going to ride with him again. And that's how it happened. It happened just as... I wrote a song about it. I wrote a song about it on the last album. I'd been working... I seen the notes from 2010. I found them on the hard drive. I've been writing on that song for a long time. This bully, he literally... I'm telling you, he mocked me and everything. And God chose to take him out of this world. God is not mocked. And if you mocked him and you've gotten by with it, somebody's praying big time for you. Somebody loves you. Some grandmother, some mama, some sister, maybe even somebody you met that you didn't know that you impacted them. And God has really, really took their prayers to heart. Because that guy got out of here real fast. And that's all he did. He said, God's going to strike me with lightning. You hear that? This guy that rode the short bus. Well, he really is retarded, ain't he? Ha ha ha. He thinks God's going to get me. I said, I didn't say God was going to get you. I said, he's going to deal with you. And I didn't say he's going to hit you with lightning. But now I'm off this bus. That's what I said. And I said, and I won't be back. I told the bus driver, I'm not going to be back as long as he's on it. As long as he's on this bus, I'll never be back on the bus again. And then when I went home, I said, God, did you hear that? He mocked you. Now's one of your chances. You can probably prove to me whether you're real or not. He mocked you. Well, he's not in this world anymore. And I didn't care about him for years. This goes back to Rodney. He's given a sermon on hell and seeing this vision of people falling off into the abyss. And I finally repented. You know, like I won't repent. This is what I was sent here for. Well, I finally repented of not caring about what happened to him. For one time in my life, I actually felt sorry for him. Because he was only, he's probably a couple years older than me. He was already getting close to 18. In other words, he was on his last legs of being in school. Whether he was in school or not. He held himself back. Some people think he deliberately, because he was kind of smart. They think he didn't want to leave school. I think the bully didn't want to leave school. I don't think he wanted to be out in the real world. He's a bully. He's bullying people. And like I said, they was kids he dumped in the toilet today. He didn't dump me in it. Because I reached up and looked at him. I just looked at him. And he put me down. He said, put him down. Put him down. I'm telling you, there's this one day they put me in the bath. This is when I was a little boy. I was still little. I hadn't got big yet. I only think I was chubby then. I might have a little bit of a belly. He grabbed me up he had 2 students grab me, one each. He had 2 big students with him. I don't even remember them. I don't even remember their faces, but I remember him. And he grabbed, they put one foot in one hand and one foot on the other. They spread on my legs as far as possible. And he dumped me over a toilet like he took a shit. He put his pants down, he took a shit. And then he put my head over it. He was going to dump my head in that shit or have the kids. He wasn't doing it. He had 2 flunkies doing it with him. They was the one that did everything. I'll tell you why he had them doing it. He's going to deny he had anything to do with it. He was that way. He was sly, y'all. He's going to say he didn't have nothing to do with it. I know what he was doing. Them 2 punks are going to go down for the garbage. Because he was kissy with the teachers. Indeed, one time he says, I know how to have a meeting out of my hand. He'd buy them sweet stuff. Like anytime Valentine's Day, we're coming up on Valentine's Day. He'd buy them, I'm telling you, he'd buy them the best flowers. He'd buy them the biggest set of candy. He'd had those teachers. Those teachers thought he's sweet. Indeed, when he's dying, there's all boo-hooing, telling how great he was. I sat there thinking, that he wasn't great. That bastard. I sitting there thinking that in the desk. He's a little monster from the minute I met him. He's a big monster. He's bigger than me. I outgrew him in second grade. I got as big as him, but I was bigger than him, so I got fat. And I not only got big, I got big and fat. And I told him, I said, well, I guess you won't be holding my head over any more toilets anymore. Well, I can still take care of you, Philip. He said, I can still take care of you. He called me Philip, because that's what I went by. I can still take care of you. He'd try. I just didn't ever pay attention to him. Because I was big enough, I didn't have to worry about it. But I need to get back to the other part of the story. Because I distracted myself. There was this kid right before me that they had in there, in the bathroom. No, please don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, keep screaming. Keep screaming. He kept, and then finally, they had piss in that. He pissed in that one. He shit for me. He put his head in piss. And next thing I know, there goes his head in the, his head's down the toilet, and he flushes it on. You hear him gobbling with the water, his mouth gobbling. And then he lets him go, and he drops him, and he runs. He runs out crying. But then they got me. They picked me up. Instead of crying, I just I can't, because he's got me spread apart. I can't kick. I can't even move. I could barely lift up. I could barely even get my hands up there. So I just bend my head up, and I look him right in the eyes. And he goes, well, ain't you going to beg me? I shake. I can't talk. I can't get nothing. I can't even hardly breathe. The way they've got me hanging up, I can't breathe. I can't speak. I can't do anything. I shake my head no. He says, put him down. Put him down. And he said, you're lucky. You're lucky. That's how he did me. I wrote a song about him. Let's put the song on. I worked on it for years. I don't think I got the person in the car yet, so. It's on my last album. This new one's coming out June. The new album I just made. Let's make sure we find the album. I don't want just a video. Eat me. Well, there it was. My single's done up. Cast Down the Idols. I see it. It's on YouTube. I see its cover. It's already been released. I forgot I released it.
Check this out.
Let me find the song.
I forwarded this card.
Aren't you gonna cry? No. Here it is. I need to turn it up some. It's too low. I wrote this about him. Spent years on this song. I didn't cry about him even after he died. But now I finally did cry. Rodney Howard Brown brought me to tears with his sermon. I sort of had a mercy on him. Because I got to thinking. He's been in hell, probably, if he didn't repent. And I doubt he did. He was mean as a snake. They said he died head on. He probably didn't have time to even think. I'd already wrote this back. I'd already even recorded it before he did that sermon. I'm sure I had it recorded or ready to record. I'm telling you, I didn't care about that dude for many years until that sermon. And I thought about it. Well, he was just a teenager, Lord. Maybe I should have been a little more easy on him. But God obviously knew something that I didn't. See, I thought about that years later because he was just an old dumb, mean kid. He was mean as a snake. He threatened to rape one girl. That's how mean he was.
Totally heard about that. The city is crazy. Whatever. No.
I can't say I didn't cry anymore because I did.
Let's go, please.
I cried that day when I realized he's probably been. For once, I repented of it. I try to remind myself of that when I'm dealing with future enemies. I do. I try not to let it get that far, where I just think of them that way. I keep the door open and just leave it for repentance, Lord. But if they don't, deal with them. Because I really did have pity for him. Even though I'd never, because I'm telling you, he bullied me. I did have a respect for him. I'm going to tell you, I hated him and I respected him at the same time. Because with him, I knew what he thought of me. Those snakes that lied to me and told me they were my friends and weren't my friends, those were the ones that I had disrespect for. Because at least I knew with him, he wasn't a fake. That's one thing. That's one thing he wouldn't, except for the teachers. They were the only ones he faked. This bastard's just determined to block me. He let us, indeed, nobody cared he was dead. Nobody. Nobody cried for him. But the teachers. Students didn't give a fuck about him. We all knew what he was. He's a monster, y'all. But I had pity on the monster when Rodney Howard Brown actually described things. He was describing it. Hell and heaven. Been there for eternity.
Hey, bud, how's it going?
Is it really worth it? I always know when God's talking to me. I got an ear when he's talking to me. If he ain't talking to me, I don't hear it. But if he's talking to me, I hear it. He lets me hear a sermon. Or he lets me hear something, or he lets me run into it in the Bible. I won't hear it from a man. I don't listen to men. But there's something about it when I can actually tell he's talking to me. Like there's this one pastor I listen to. If he's saying something that he wants me to hear, he lets him just start playing on my phone. Like I'll pull the YouTube app up, and his sermon will just start playing. And then I'll listen to what he's saying, and it's something that's synonymous with something I know is a problem with me. So God, when he wants to talk to me, he talks to me.
That was insane.
I can be unforgiving towards enemies. But now, ever since that day, I've kind of been a little different. I mean, just a little.
Medical cocaine.
Medical cocaine. You don't need no fucking medical cocaine. Have you ever seen the nightmare stories of cocaine? Boy, they're terrible. What it does to your nose, your face. I seen that back when I was a kid, y'all. They used to bring the videos to school. But I run into it recently on the internet. Same video. They used to show at school. Go Google injuries from that. All that stupid stuff. Meth makes people look horrible. Stay away from that junk. Do yourself a favor. Even stay away from the pot. I know they sell it as God's gift, but it's not God's gift. Maybe Lucifer's, but it ain't God's. People that are selling you that, they're two things. They want to be idiots, or they want you to be an idiot. Those are the people that sell that. The people that want you to be an idiot wants to make $1 off of you. And make you stupid at the same time. They want you stupid, man. They don't want you being able to think for yourself. They want a controllable society. And that's the truth about marijuana. Bow, 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 bow. And she had a moist vagina. Bow, bow, bow. Puts a little bit of Nirvana. I could actually play that one for a while on the guitar. I can't do it anymore. I've forgotten how to do it. But back in the 2004 and 5, I could play it. I forgot what strings I hit. See, I had to learn how to by ear. The only Nirvana song I could ever play, because if you listen to it, ain't really much to it, though. If you ever listen to the Moist Vagina, there's not much to that. I can't find this one. I probably go watch that pay-per-view. I've gotten where I ain't watching wrestling lately. I've about gotten away from wrestling. I may never come back. I don't know.
Hey, girl.
We'll see. I've got exhausted with it. And it ain't on any, it's a personal level.
Amazing. Let's hang out soon.
Personal level. Personal level. I may never come back, y'all. I may have learned too much about wrestling that I didn't want to learn about. Didn't need to learn about. And you know they tell you to stay far away from things you care about because you might not end up liking it anymore.
Hey, darling.
Let's just say that's where I'm at. Ah. Now I will say one thing: the treatment was at that one place. The rest of them treated us kindly, but now that's just up on on the surface. One of them little boys that's been running his mouth, and he's a little stick figure, works for many of them, not just them. So it makes me question the whole entire community. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens when you attack people like that. They didn't really do nothing to begin with. And I'm getting out of the subject, 'cause I didn't want to go on about it in my game anymore. But it just led to the conversation that I may be done with wrestling. I may be done with it forever. We'll see. We'll see how I feel when I heal. I don't even know how he thinks he's gonna make it as a wrestler, though. He's a fucking stick figure. He's a fucking twig, man. He needs to eat him some fucking burgers. You know, I tell Fatty's to hit the gym. He needs to eat some fucking burgers. Little fucking twig. Little fucking twig needs to eat some fucking burgers. I don't know how he thinks he's gonna be a fucking wrestler. He ain't making it. Just watch. He's a nobody. He's going nowhere. He's on a road to nowhere. He's too fucking skinny. He's going nowhere. He especially won't go anywhere attacking innocent people. It did nothing to him. Because that's called reaping your karma. Even in witchcraft, I'm going to tell y'all, even a talking point in witchcraft, I know, I studied it up. You know, even Satanists and stuff, they won't do anything to you on the offense. Because they know it will blow back on them. They got to find some way to trick you into going along with them. So it will not blow back on them. If they can't trick you to go along with it, they back off. Because they know they're going to read what, because that's a principle. That's some kind of principle to set in within the way things are set up. When you do people horrible, it comes back to you. You don't do people dirty and get by with it in this world. You might for a while, but just like the Johnny Cash song goes, and it was before Johnny Cash, Elvis, even Marilyn Manson's got a version of it. You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. And the ones that started it on me that I never did anything to, you're the ones I resent the most. Biggin, I kind of brought it on because I called her out on those messages she was sending us. So if she don't like me and I don't like her, that's one thing. But when people get in it that I never said anything about, those are the ones I resent the most. Because I never did anything to you. I never said anything about you till you said something about me. And there's no reason for any kind of conflict between me and you. Because I didn't do anything to you. I see it. I seen it. Thank the Lord. I just got to get to it. I'm glad when I see them. And it was good I seen it how I seen it. Because I seen it from a distance. From a distance. I didn't even mean to go this route. I wasn't planning to. I'm just saying I may not watch the wrestling. I haven't had a stomach to watch wrestling lately. And with that being said, I only did 2 jobs today.
I've got someone for you.
With that kind of driving. Let's see if we can do some stealing and some gambling before I get off. Because I'm telling you, I don't go looking for fights where I don't have any. If I don't have a beef with nobody, I don't get me a beef. Because I like living in peace. Just like God tells you to do. Am I going off? I'm going off. I was going... I was going to try to gamble. See if she has any better luck than Jeff did today. I don't go looking for trouble where trouble's not. Some people ain't like that. I'm glad I'm like I am, though. I couldn't feel good about myself being like that. Just starting trouble with people. Like, other people should have stayed out of that whole mess. Some people